Hey everybody, my name is Cazembe, Reiki Master Teacher, Energy Practitioner, Holistic Practitioner, Tantric Practitioner, and DJ and Dom. um, those of you who are my friends on Facebook, you probably already know who I am, have an idea of who I am at least, maybe a little more information about me, however. Which is why I kind of went through those various titles, and it's also connected to what I'm going to say today. Um, it is February 28th, Atlanta, Georgia, at 8:15. I wanted to talk about this briefly. It's been on my mind for quite some time. Um, as an energy practitioner for several years and a tantra practitioner, I was going to actually post this in healing groups. And then I realized that this is not just a healer issue. This is a societal issue. And the issue is male healing, our men healing. And I first want to say that I am not exempt from this in terms of responsibility for healing. I'm not exempt. And that I'm offering this from love and compassion and encouragement. So what I want to say is that we as men are not getting the healing that we so desperately need. We're not even close. Not even close. Being a healer, I've had the privilege of being in several different types of circles throughout the years. And typically what I see, if the men are present at all, I see a lot of men administering healing, and I see very few receiving. Now, if I do see some receiving, I don't see a lot of catharsis and releasing. I don't see expressing. I see corpses on the table. Where the armor is covering them, and they're holding on to what they have. And then when I do see male practitioners doing some work, I typically see us being boastful about what we have done to other people that have gotten on our tables, particularly women. Oh, bruh, when they come to me, I make them cry, bruh. Or, man, they leave me, they're never the same. They just be around me, and they're never the same, man. And, okay, that's fine. Sounds great. Whoop-de-doo. But what I want to ask them is, well, when's the last time you got yourself on the table? When was the last time you emoted? When was the last time you released? Because as a practitioner, I can't tell you all how many times women have come to me and have come to me with concern about their husbands, their brothers, their uncles, their fathers, their sons, their cousins, their nephews. I can't tell you. It's all the time. And I've been wanting to talk about this for years, and these past few months, as I've expanded and gotten with more healing circles, I'm seeing the same thing over and over and over and over again. And I'm concerned, and a lot of women are concerned. I think that as men, our egos, which is really driven by fear, is preventing us from seeing ourselves as in terms of what we really need. And I would say that if you are a practitioner, you are working on people. If you're a counselor, if you're a priest, if you're a pastor, it is that much more important that much more essential, that much more dire, that you get on the table and you receive, or you get in someone's chair or on someone's counseling couch or somewhere to receive the healing that you are asking other people to receive from you. That you put yourself in the situation where you receive that very same healing, go through that same process. Because if you don't, it will not only affect, it will affect your health, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. It will affect negatively your relationships. It will affect your flow of abundance. And it will also affect your ability to heal. Now, you may have some techniques. There may be some things you can do. But it won't be to the degree that if you were receiving the proper healing. I can guarantee you that. Another thing I see is that we come up with excuses as men. I know that as men in this society, in this patriarchal society, which we have created, men have created, and we have oppressed women and a whole bunch of other folks, based on, this very small box that we've put ourselves and other folks in. But we suffer from this as well. And there is an archetype, there is a box, a gender box that we have put ourselves in that only allows us to move about an inch each way. That's about it. So we are afraid of appearing in any way different than that, because then all of a sudden we're no longer a man. And obviously I challenge that. I wholeheartedly challenge that. I want to offer you this, that unless you are able to stand in your truth, in vulnerability, which in your truth, in vulnerability is actually power, unless you are able to stand in that, you're really not a man operating at your full potential. Boom, there it is. You're not. You're a good representative, great agent. Look at that facsimile. But you're not authentically representing yourself. And again, I am not exempt from this. I am not. And as a matter of fact, I'm coming to you with this because, and I want this video to be seen by men and women. I want men to see it for obvious reasons, and I want women to see it as well, to encourage their men and to exalt and support their men to go through their own healing as well, and to help them with their healing. I've gone through my own healing, and I'm still going through healing, and probably will always be going through a sense of healing that I think most people should go through. So it's not about being perfect, but it certainly is about being on the path. It is about being honest. It is about being vulnerable. It is about receiving those things, particularly if we're practitioners, that we so fervently suggest other people as our clients receive. I have a very good friend, and we were talking about, he was actually coming to me talking about one of those organizations that take people through like a weekend of exercises and studies and kind of a comprehensive reevaluation of your life, and pulling out family issues and relationship issues and all this type of stuff. And you sit and you would stand and talk to a bunch of people that were also in the group going through the same thing. A lot of people that you don't know, just having met that weekend. And then there would be a facilitator and someone behind the podium that would, facilitate the whole thing and kind of guide people and really call them out on their stuff and say, hey, listen, all right, I think you may be skirting the issue, this the issue, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And really call people to the carpet so they can fully face their issues. Well, my friend, again, who I dearly love, great brother, was saying that I guess someone else was talking to him about this group, excuse me. And his response was, well, I don't need to go through that. I mean, I would be, I would be the person behind the podium. I wouldn't be the person in the seat. I'd be the person behind the podium. I'd be the facilitator. And we haven't had a chance to talk about this, but I plan to, and hopefully this video will jumpstart this discussion with him. But I thought about it later, after we, left each other, and I kind of chuckled to myself. I said, man, you don't deserve to be the person at the podium until you have been the person in the seat. You don't deserve to be the facilitator until you've been that person that has received instruction and has gone through that journey of healing. You don't deserve it. Why? Well, in a nutshell, because you won't know what you're doing. Because you haven't gone through the healing process, that journey, you won't know anything about compassion, or you won't know enough about compassion, sympathy, certainly won't know anything about empathy, wisdom, which is gained from experience, and knowledge. I mean, maybe you can say, yeah, well, I can still go up there and I can tell them a few things. Sure, you can. And it'll mostly be ego-based. It'll mostly be ego-based. And this is what I see that we typically do as men. I know that as men in this patriarchal society, we are expected to fix things. That's part of this very narrow archetype that has been constructed, that we've put on ourselves. So we have ourselves to thank for this in terms of men. But we are expected to fix things really quickly, very quickly. We're hunters, so we see a target, we go in, we attack it, boom, it's out, or we tweak it, and done, and we're out, and we're moving on to the next thing. I get it. In that, however, it's a very narrow definition. And as I said before, it's coming with a host of issues. A host of issues. That now, where I believe there is a movement, a healing movement, through natural products and herbs and energy work and a whole bunch of things, it is becoming that much more apparent that we need this healing. But you have to participate in your own healing, and you have to be vulnerable to receive healing. You can't come to a surgery in armor talking about fix my leg and jumping on the surgical table. You got to take the armor off first. A lot of us as men, we use our egos as armor, and it's also very, very tricky, and it's really been fooling us into thinking that we that we're okay, or we've been healing enough, or we don't need it right now, we'll do it another time. And it's just fear. It's so much fear. And you know how fear is a mind killer, and I truly believe that it really has us really twisted in our self-perception. And it's not about the fact that we need to be perfect. Again, it's not about that. It's about the fact that we need to be on a journey. And we need to be honest with ourselves. And we need to make sure that we are practicing what we preach. And we need to make sure that as healers, if we are placing our hands on folk or our energy on people, that we are not bringing our stuff on that person. I'm not saying that you have to be squeaky clean. I don't really think that's possible. But if your intention is really to heal and not to be boastful, then I think that one would be more cognizant and honest and aware of their own healing that they need to have in process, and their own spiritual, energetic, physical, emotional, and mental cleanliness that they need to have before they approach someone else. Because they'll know that that's a very, very delicate situation. Again, and I want women to really help encourage other men to heal. And I think that if you heal, it'll make you a better practitioner. Matter of fact, I know it will. I know it will. What I often hear is that men are just simply not able to open up. They don't communicate. I know we go in our caves as men. I know that we express differently than women, and that's fine. But you got to express to somebody. I would ask you this for this week. Tell someone something that has been on your heart that you've never expressed to someone before. And I would, if possible, I would suggest that it be another man. Be discerning. Be discerning. Make sure it's someone that will accept you. But talk to another man about it. The reason I say this is because when I went through the passing of my mother in 2010, there weren't very many men that I could talk to about that. There were several women, a lot of women, but not very many men. And there's something that happens when a man talks to another man, same sex discussion and exchange and communication, particularly when it comes to hurt or pain or love or caring or things like that. There's something that happens in terms of the empathy and the understanding, because it's understood what you go through as a man, the pressures of being a man, the pressure of having to represent and be a leader, the pressure of having to have the answer. I think there's a certain acceptance that you'll find there. So I want to encourage you, men, to find someone this week and express something that's on your heart that you've always wanted to say and you just couldn't find the right person to say it to. Here's why. When we talk, when we communicate our truth, we're standing as vulnerable, pure, which is strong, powerful beings of light. And we heal as we express that. I guarantee it that if you do this, and it's something that has been weighing you down, I guarantee that you will feel that a weight has lifted after that conversation. And all you would have done was just talk. That's all you would have done. Please get this. Please, please, please get this. Get the healing. Get it. Your wives, your sisters, your girlfriends, your mothers, your nieces, your business partners, everyone around you can benefit from this and is waiting for you to get the healing that you need. You may think you're fooling people, but it's kind of like the emperor's new clothes. You're not. You're the only one that doesn't know. Everyone else does. Everyone else is seeing the pain. Everyone else is seeing the frustration. Everyone else is seeing the anger. Everyone else is seeing the fact that you can only express one emotion, which is anger. Everyone's seeing the inability to communicate. Everyone else is seeing the low emotional quotient and IQ. Everyone else is seeing that. And it's affecting your health. It's affecting your mind, your body, your spirit. Everyone knows but you. I can't mince words on this. I just can't. It's too serious. Men, we are dying. We're getting diseases and we are dying. Because we are not opening up our hearts. We are not expressing ourselves. We're living inauthentically. And yes, a lot of that is due to the type of society that we live in. But again, this is patriarchy. Men, we've done it to ourselves. We've done it to ourselves. Yes, we've oppressed women as well, but we also are victims of our own oppression. So I just want to encourage you. I want to encourage us. Men, receive the healing. Talk to someone this week. Women, support the men around you in receiving their own healing. Support them. Tell them that they're more of a man, that they have done this. They're even more of a man. Support them without ridicule, judgment, critique, persecution. Men, leave the shame alone. Leave it alone. Get it. Get the healing that you deserve, just like everyone else does. I have a class March 12th and 13th of this month. It's a new Usui Reiki class. And anyone can sign up. So if you're interested, come to me. Hit me up via message box here on Facebook. But the reason I'm bringing it up is that anyone who's a student with me, I always offer them healing sessions, and the only price I charge is a love offering. The love offering could be money, it could be some incense, it could be flowers, whatever. Because it's that important. It's that important that if you are a practitioner, you need to be receiving some healing on a regular basis from somewhere. So it's that important. All right. Thank you. God bless. Talk to you soon. My name is Cazembe. Cheers.